Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's live broadcast. And I wanted to say thank you for watching my last video and commenting. There were a lot of comments on that last video. And I just wanted to make a general reply on that video, just a general response to the comments. So I voted for draining the swamp, and I voted for Doge. And when Trump brought Elon on, appointed him to run Doge, I knew that Elon could definitely get the job done. And he did. He exposed and found billions of dollars worth of fraud, trillions of dollars worth of fraud. And when that was found, we were promised as Americans, each American would get $5,000. Well, where is that $5,000? None of us have received $5,000. Have you received the $5,000? I know I have not received $5,000. Instead, we've got this big, beautiful bullshit bill, and I understand why Elon is upset about that. So I just wanted to give that short reply on those comments that I really did vote and support the draining of the swamp and for Doge. And Elon is Doge. So I just wanted to get that out there. And again, I appreciate everyone's comments and I appreciate everyone's views on that video. Having said that, let's get into today's topic, which is about Elon and Einstein. So I did some digging, and they're both considered geniuses. Einstein was considered a genius in his time, and Elon is definitely a genius in our time. He is just a mastermind of innovation. And in my last video, or my last live broadcast, I did present many videos of Elon's accomplishments and all his companies that he has here in the United States that is making the United States billions of dollars. So we know that Elon is just amazing, and he does have so many new things coming out, like Rock 4 is going to be released today. He has his taxis. He's the automatic run taxis that he's, rolling out. He actually has them rolled out. In my last live broadcast, I did talk about it. SpaceX is, we just can't say enough about that. And speaking of that, I actually have a video of Trump talking about the passing of this big bullshit bill that I call it. And this is what he had to say. Let's see if I can get that video here.
We're off to the United States now. Donald Trump, he's about to move, but he's speaking. This following the success of his big, beautiful bill. Let's listen in.
And perhaps a lot of you are going with us. How are you? And we have a very big crowd, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed. And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship.
Now, he can't make this country into a rocket ship without Elon, and that's my view on that. So that I just found funny when he was talking about the big, beautiful bill that just passed, and he mentioned a rocket ship because he is threatening to deport Elon Musk, and he is making all kinds of threats towards Elon Musk. So I found that interesting that he mentioned rocket ship because he couldn't do it without Elon. The next thing I actually found was an interesting story about how Trump took credit. Now, this story just broke yesterday. Trump took credit for the story about Elon Musk's drug addiction, I guess. And this story here talks about how he called the Wall Street Journal, or the New York Times, and bragged to the New York Times, sorry about that, I have some notes that I'm following, that he was the one who told them about Elon Musk's drug use. So he took credit for that, and this is an article that I found yesterday that Trump took the credit for calling the New York Times with this information about Elon. So I thought that was pretty dirty. I didn't think that was cool at all. I know Elon has done, his things with, it's gone back and forth between both of them, honestly. But this was a dirty move, I thought. And so Elon did respond to this article about the drug use, and he did post on X his drug test results. So when this broke, Elon did post his drug test, and let's look at that really quick.
They're off to the United States.
Sorry, wrong video. So here is Elon's drug test that he posted on X, which looks to me very clean. And he denies 100% that there is any, drug use at all. And this looks like a pretty legit drug test result. So he did reply to that, and he did post that this drug test on X. So I know this feud between the both of them is really not, it's not good. It's not good for the country. It's not good for, our president to be acting like this, honestly. And I can see why Elon is pissed about this bill. It's not about the EV mandate. It's not about that. It's about government spending. Because now we're all going to be adding, we're going to be paying that deficit, that we're going to be paying an extra $5,000 each. Instead of getting the $5,000 back, we're going to be paying $5,000 more in inflation. So and Elon's, that's exactly why he's mad. It has nothing to do with the EV mandate. So that is why Elon is pretty pissed about the bill. The bill was supposed to be about cutting government spending and, finding fraud and acting on, arresting people that committed the fraud, and none of this was done. So when the initial falling out, I guess you would say, in June happened, Elon was really not happy, because that's when he found out about Trump's bill. So I have another video actually that talks about this bill with Elon, and let's see if we can get to that.
Do you think Elon is crazy? I think he's crazy. I mean, all of these ones, he asks a question and then you respond, yes, of course. I think he's crazy. You agree with me. So he will now use everything to paint Elon as the bad guy.
So I found this video yesterday, because this actually came out yesterday also. And it discusses Trump and Elon's kind of feud, and let's actually hear what they have to say.
I'm Joanna Coles, Chief Content Officer of the Daily Beast, and you are lying in the bath to walking your dog to ironing your clothes to or possibly cooking scrambled eggs to the Daily Beast podcast. I am here with none other than Michael Wolff today, and we are recording this on the morning after the Senate approved the big, beautiful bill and sent it back to the House of Representatives for their comments, all to be done before the July the 4th holiday. So we have no time to waste. And of course, Michael's favourite person is back in the ring with Donald Trump. All right, Michael Wolff is in the house. I am so excited. I'm also a little overwhelmed because we haven't spoken for, I want to say, 6.
So Michael Wolff is a journalist that is connected with the White House. So this is his kind of coverage on what has taken place between Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
6 days, since which the world has turned. We've gone in and out of the beautiful bill, and they're back. Your favorite person is back. Say those 2 words to me.
3 words. Elon is back.
Elon is back. Elon. I thought you were going to elide them and just say Elon's back or he's back.
I should have. Good editing.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So,
but let's remind everybody, because we have to. Although this happened just days ago,
right?
It's necessary to remind, I think, everybody that Elon just recently was a whipped dog. Trump had cast him out and Elon seemed to have been groveling back. Elon seemed to be saying, yeah.
So I think that's another thing. I don't think Elon was groveling back, but it was really unfair to be cast out like that by Donald Trump. Elon is Doge, right? So, yeah, I disagree with that comment, but.
I get it. You know, this is Trump and you can't go against it.
Right, and he regretted the emails that he sent. He deleted the one about Epstein, which was the triggering email to the White House. But as you've said, and I'm going to edit, he's back.
No, and I think he's back in a really threatening way.
Oh, my goodness. Do tell. Do tell.
Well, you know, I mean, he is saying, I'm going to start a third party. And the media response seems to be, well, it's very hard to start a third party. That's not the point. The point is that in both the House and the Senate, Trump's majorities are incredibly precarious.
So it would be probably.
Do you think Elon is crazy? I think he's crazy. I mean, all of these ones, he asks a question and then you respond, yes, of course. I think he's crazy. You agree with me. So he will now use everything to paint Elon as the bad.
All right, Michael Wolff is in the house. I am so excited. I'm also a little overwhelmed because we haven't spoken for, I want to say, 6 days.
Sorry, guys, I had to restart that video. So let's just forward to the part where.
To me.
3 words, Elon is back.
Elon is back. Elon. I thought you were going to elide them and just say Elon's back or he's back.
Yeah, no, I should have. Good editing.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So,
but let's remind everybody, because we have to. Although this happened just days ago,
right?
It's necessary to remind, I think, everybody that Elon just recently was a whipped dog.
So it was unfair what happened to Elon. I don't think that was fair at all. But Elon gave his opinion about that bill, and Trump obviously didn't like it. And Trump is a vindictive type of person and reacted on that.
Dog. Trump had cast him out. And X, I got to say, has kind of become a platform of one.
True, but we're all paying attention to both of them.
Yeah, no, I think we do.
So they're talking about Trump's platform of True Social against X, which is Elon's platform, and pretty much Trump's platform is a ghost town with only Trump posting on his own account, and Elon obviously has millions of people on X.
But they are, I mean, social media platforms, as we once conceived them, were the voices of multitudes. And now, very clearly, certainly Truth Social, because literally it is a ghost town except for Donald Trump.
Right.
But then also X, or formerly Twitter, which Elon owns lock, stock, and barrel.
But what we have here is Elon saying that he is restraining himself. But now the bill is being tossed back to the House. When does he decide whether or not he's going to create this third party, do you think?
Well, I think probably if the bill passes.
So we all know the bill passed, and there have been posts on X, and I actually found a survey that was done about this third party that Elon wanted to create. And they surveyed about 1,000 people, and 40% of those people said that they would support Elon Musk if he did create a third party. And I thought that was a lot of people out of that survey. So
I mean, I don't know.
Likely to do.
Yeah, it does look. I mean, Trump will. It does, because it doesn't matter what's in the bill. Trump will make any compromise or approve any compromise just so long as there is a bill.
And that's another thing. Trump is definitely, going along with the corrupt government that we have. Anything, like he said, to pass this bill, he would do. And I didn't vote for that. That's not what I voted for. Trump was supposed to stop all this corruption. He was supposed to make sure that none of this was going on. There was no weaponizing of the government. And he's doing that right now with Elon. He's using the government, he's weaponizing the government against Elon, threatening to deport Elon, threatening to, close his companies and just anything to hurt Elon. He's weaponizing the government against Elon. And he's doing the very thing that he said he would stop. And it was done to him. So I just don't think that that's right.
Buy anyone off, as we saw in the
With Lisa McCursky in Alaska.
In the Senate. I think on the part of both of them, I know I was tracking.
What do you guys think about this? What do you think about how things are rolling out between these two? Do you think Elon has a chance at a third party? Do you think that this feud will eventually end, which I'm hoping? They made a great team. They did great things together. They could have done great things for this country together. They're both, masterminds, obviously. But what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know what your thoughts are about what's going on with this feud, if it's going to continue, if they're going to amend, make up, or if Elon will start a third party.
Some Trump phone calls on Monday night. And
so this is about Trump and the drug story that was leaked to the New York Times.
It's sort of worth explaining here that over a long period of time, I've gotten to know and cultivated a lot of people who Trump regularly speaks to. These are some of these people I've known well before Trump. And the interesting, Trump speaks to them, and then they speak to other people. They literally, you can see them. Trump calls, and then they get on the phone, and you'll never guess what he said. This is part of how this administration works with its
communication, basically.
You could call it ultimate accessibility. So the phone calls.
Okay.
So what he's saying. This is
on Monday. We're recording this on Wednesday morning.
Right. And he's like calling people and say, "Do you think Elon is crazy?" I think he's crazy. All of these phones. He asks a question and then you respond, "Yes, of course." I think he's crazy. You agree with me? And then so he asks the question, he answers the question, and then infers that you have agreed with him on this question, or even that it's your thesis. So you think he's crazy.
But his point underlying all this is that for this week in particular, he does think Elon is crazy.
Yeah, no, and he actually went in one of these phone calls, or many of them. He was on about you know how many drugs he takes. He takes drugs all the time. You know that, don't you? The New York Times wrote about it. They said he takes drugs, and then he went on to say, actually, we dropped a dime to the New York Times on Elon for.
So there you go. Trump admitted that he was the one who contacted the New York Times about Elon's drug use, which then Elon had to reply with his drug test results on X, which I just showed you.
On Elon's drug taking.
He says that to people? So they were the source of the story in the New York Times about Elon's
Well, we have no idea. He is just claiming credit for that now.
Right, because he senses... Right, he wants to be behind that particular narrative.
Well, he wants to be behind everything, and that's a helpful narrative to him.
Right.
And it kind of then he went on to say we investigated him. So So this is that. So he will now use everything
Right.
to paint Elon into as the bad guy. I mean, he's deporting Elon.
Well, he's saying he might deport Elon, right? But Elon is also addressing it. I mean, Elon sounded pretty defensive on X when he said, "I'm not taking ketamine. I once took it. I'm not taking drugs."
Well, I think that New York Times story, for instance, was pretty devastating. I mean, it basically said that he was high all the time and effectively dysfunctional because of it. I mean,
Right, and
I don't know. I watched him run Doge. I watched several interviews of Elon and his team running Doge, and it looked pretty, he looked like he was very on top of everything, and he had a great team that he brought on to help him run Doge. So I don't believe those lies, I consider them, about Elon and the drug use.
associating.
yeah, I mean, this is the most successful businessman of the era is dysfunctional. That's a dysfunction maybe we should all embrace. But
Yeah, true. Well, I'm sure we could get you some ketamine for the next podcast if you would like it. In fact, I think we should try and do a podcast on ketamine. But for now, Trump has responded to Elon's threat that he's going to start a third party by saying that they might set Doge upon him, they might cut his grants, and that they may deport him because he's an immigrant.
again, another example of Trump willing to say anything at any time.
Right.
So none of this makes any sense. You know, if the government can do things to frustrate Elon, Elon can do things business-wise to frustrate the government. I mean, basically, NASA is now run by Elon Musk.
Right.
So this is just social media talk.
Right. So basically, the back and forth is just that, just them just going back and forth at each other. But, when I think of Elon, I think of great men, and there's only once in a lifetime, men come along like Elon. And the one I thought of, which is the title of this live broadcast, is Einstein. I think of Elon like an Einstein. Einstein was, the mastermind of his time. And Elon is definitely the mastermind of our time. He is definitely a force of nature with technology and entrepreneurship. He, he created PayPal. He revolutionized, online payments with PayPal, and his Tesla company and his SpaceX and what he did for Twitter and X. So he is definitely, a builder, an innovator, and he's an unstoppable force in our time. And I really respect the things that he does. And I think that, he deserves the label of genius. And what makes what makes a person be labeled genius, and it just simply boils down to the type of genius that they possess. And Elon definitely is a genius. He just has shown time after time, just with his, my last broadcast, like I said, I showed so many videos of Elon's accomplishments and, what he's doing with Neuralink and all these things he's doing right now, which are benefiting the government and the United States and the American people. He's actually trying to help us, not to hurt us. So I just, he definitely cares about the United States, and I understand why he was pissed about that, bill. It's I call it the big bullshit bill. So that's what my husband and I have named that bill, and I just I understand why he is upset about that. Other than the fact that he showed so much support for Trump. He donated the $250 million of his own money to Trump's campaign. He campaigned all the time. He campaigned so much so that he kind of neglected his own company. And what were the results of that? They burned his dealerships. They burned his Teslas. People were keying cars of owners, Tesla owners. People were keying all these Teslas, and that was just not a good thing. It just was very bad for Elon. So, he did all this stuff, and I think he might feel betrayed. I don't know what you guys think, but what do you think? Do you think that Elon has a right to be upset? And like I said, it has nothing to do with the EV mandate. It has everything to do with this deficit that we are going to be responsible for now. It's $5 trillion in deficit that's going to increase. And where do you think that's coming from? It's coming out of our pockets. And Elon was against that. And so I do get that, I do understand why Elon was just not happy about it. But the back and forth between them, is a little over the top, I do have to say. But what do you think about Elon starting a third party? Do you think that that's possible? Do you think that, he could achieve that? Based off of some of the polls and some of the, he did something on X, I believe. He put something out there where he did a poll himself, and a lot of people supported that they would support him if he did come out with a third party. So there was a survey conducted by Quantus Insights, which I'm not too familiar with that type of that company, but between June 30th and July 2nd, 1,000 registered voters were found that 40% of those voters would back Elon on a third party. So Musk has, publicly stated his interest in forming that party, which he is going to name the American Party. So I know it's probably a difficult process to form a third party, and there's probably a lot of challenges he will face. But I believe that if they don't mend their feud between each other, things are going to escalate between them. So, Trump is a vindictive type of person, and Elon is just retaliating, I believe. What do you guys think? Do you think that? I'm not, sure what. How would you feel if you were Elon? Basically, I feel like he feels betrayed a little bit. He is Doge. He started Doge, and for Trump saying, I've heard news reports where Trump speaks and he's going to, use Doge against Elon. How would he like if I sent Doge after him? And I just thought that was, just Elon is Doge. He created that. He was the one who ran Doge. So for Trump to weaponize that against Elon is just wrong to me. So, but let's hear. Let's see. This is the other article I found about Trump claiming the credit for releasing the false accusations of Elon's drug use. So again, these stories came out yesterday, and Trump is proud of it. He's outright proud of, saying that he released this to the New York Times for them to post this story. And I just thought that was dirty, just a dirty thing to do. And it just wasn't a good thing. So I have links to these. Actually, you can find these anywhere online, these stories, these articles of Trump, admitting that he was the one who called the New York Times to report on Elon Musk. So it's going to get heated up if it doesn't cool down. Like I said, I hope it does. I really thought that they, like I said before, they made a great team together, and they did a lot of good things. And Doge is very important. It did a lot of, it found a lot of fraud, and we were supposed to benefit from that, and we never did. And this big bullshit bill that just came out is going to do the opposite for us. It is going to create more, we're going to pay more. It's going to be a lot more that we're going to pay. So, and it's going to increase the deficit. And that's something that Elon was dead set against. And I think originally, he was hoping that that wouldn't happen in this bill, obviously. And it ended up happening. And that's where the fallout happened when Elon actually saw the bill. He gave his thoughts saying, I don't think this is a good bill. And obviously Trump is, if you disagree with Trump, he's not going to like you very much. So that's how that all started between them. And then it's just been a back and forth between them. So it's pretty sad. But we can continue on.
Do you think Elon is crazy? I think he's crazy. I mean, all of these ones. He asks a question, and then
following the success of his big, beautiful bill. Let's listen in.
And perhaps a lot of you are going with us. How are you? And we have a very big crowd, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed. And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship. It's going to
So again, a rocket ship, you can't do that without Elon.
be really great. I think when you go over the bill, it was very easy to get him to a yes. We went over that bill, and point after point, biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great on the southern border, immigration is covered. We covered just about everything. Again, it's the biggest bill ever signed of its kind.
Mr. President, some have policies that were concerned about the bill. You said that they had conversations where you made promises. What promises did you make? Did you tell Representative Clyde that he could have some action on gun rights? What sort of deal did you make with those?
Well, I talked to a lot of different Republicans in doing it, and we had a good time in being there. I did not have much of a problem with any of them. As you know, we had 2 negative votes, but we had whatever it was, the final vote.
Did you get them to agree to yes?
Yeah, I think a few of them I did, but I think they would have gone yes anyway. No deals. What I did.
Do you believe that there were any deals that were made in this bill?
It is. We talked about how good the bill is. I mean, that's a deal, I guess, when you think about it. But obviously convince them. But it was not hard. This is a great bill. This is going to be a great bill for the country. Well, I was disappointed that he did that. There were 2 of them that voted no, so I was disappointed that he voted no. We had a call. It was a pretty long call. We talked about a lot of things, including Iran. And we also talked about, as you know, the war with Ukraine, and I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy. No, I didn't make any progress with them today at all.
Do you guys think that there will be any progress made with Ukraine and Russia? It's been going on for such a long time now. I'm not sure that that is going to resolve anytime soon. So
I think we're going to get great growth. I think we'll have growth at record numbers. This is going to be something that's amazing, and everybody was watching it all over the world. And I want to congratulate the speaker and Tom Emmer and Steve Scalise and everybody else. I mean, they worked so hard, so hard. This has really been going on for over a year, if you think about it. I think, to be exact, about 14 months. And this was the culmination, and I guess it ended a lot earlier. A lot of people thought it would end up the following afternoon. Well, it ended up late in the evening, but they were great. They were great. And by the way, on the Senate side, I thought Senator Thune did a fantastic job.
So I want to actually go back to the other video from the Daily Beast story because he goes into detail more about the Trump calling the New York Times about Elon. Let's see if I can find that one here.
Do you think Elon is crazy? I think he's crazy. I mean, all of these ones, he asks a question and then you respond, yes, of course. I think he's...
I'm going to forward all we're
frantically
And X, I got to say, has kind of become a platform of one.
true, but we're all paying attention to both of them.
Yeah, no. I think we do, but they are, I mean, social media platforms, as we once conceived them, were the voices of multitudes, and now very clearly. Certainly Truth Social, because literally it is a ghost town except for Donald Trump.
Right.
But then also X, or formerly Twitter, which Elon owns lock, stock, and barrel and dictates completely. Its message is the message that he wants.
What I find
So someone in the chat is, yeah, where's our money? All I get are $9 eggs, which is, they're actually $11.99. Grocery prices are through the roof. Mac and cheese is a luxury. And that is the truth right now. That is the state of our country right now. I paid $11.99 for eggs. So where you're getting them for $9, let me know. Because it's just the price of food right now is ridiculously high. And every week I go shopping, it goes higher and higher and higher. So it's out of control.
find fascinating is the way they're both going at it. The fact that Elon appeared to be a whip dog. By the way, just to throw in there, last time we were here, we were talking about Iran and had the nuclear facilities, as you say, been obliterated. And here we are talking about something completely different, because the story is rattled on.
Iran, what Iran?
Yeah, exactly. And who remembers the parade? Who remembers the tariffs? But what we have here is Elon saying that he is restraining himself. But now the bill is being tossed back to the House. When does he decide whether or not he's going to create this third party, do you think?
Well,
So I think he's definitely going to create this third party. Obviously, we've just talked about what is recently been
I
going
think
on.
probably if the bill passes. I mean, I don't know.
Looks likely to do.
Yeah, it does look. I mean, Trump will. It does, because it doesn't matter what's in the bill. Trump will make any compromise or approve any compromise just so long as there is a bill. He'll buy anyone off. As we saw in the
With Lisa McCursky in Alaska.
In the Senate. So he'll get that, but
So he'll buy anyone off. Is that the way to run the government? Isn't that corruption? Isn't that considered corruption? Do you guys? How do you feel about that?
Even were that bill to fail, I think Elon is pissed. I think it's a blood score now. I think on the part of both of them. I know I was tracking.
Yes, Elon is the third party. Yes, and I know he has. So, from what I've heard, he has a few good supporters behind him.
Some Trump phone calls on Monday night, and
Thank you, Woof and Snort.
it's sort of worth explaining here that over a long period of time, I've gotten to know and cultivated a lot of people who Trump regularly speaks to. I mean, these are some of these people I've known well before Trump. And the interesting, Trump speaks to them, and then they speak to other people. They literally, you can see them. Trump calls them.
So to me, that's a gossip bin. Just complete. So you know how the story starts here, and then it gets changed every time it goes down the line. That's what this reminds me of. And that's why I think things are so effed up right now in the government with Trump.
And then they get on the phone, and you'll never guess what he said. So, I mean, this is part of how this administration works with its, you could call it ultimate accessibility.
Hi, Chris.
Or weird transparency, actually.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
No, and and Trump, whoever he calls, he says the same thing to everybody, so you know exactly what is on his mind. And the people he calls, they play their part.
Love your shorts of your doggies.
They agree with him because well, you don't even have to, you just listen and go, but then they call because it's always so mind-boggling. But at any rate.
And it must still be something to get a call from the President of the United States when it's Donald Trump, because it's still a weird disconnect that this man is in the White House as powerful as he is.
Well, I have gotten the Donald Trump calls, and it is incredibly weird because this is the President of the United States who you cannot get off the phone.
Right.
So
Thank you for tuning
it's
in.
kind of like you feel I'm holding up the whole world. Because I just can't get rid of him.
Or you might be saving the whole world because he could be having a much more powerful conversation with someone else that triggers something.
And there was there have been several occasions where it's Donald Trump on the phone and he's in my house on the speakerphone.
And your children are running around in the background.
Well, no, they come to attention. Everybody is like,
Scared to death.
It's like, or the car phone. If it's the car phone,
you hear the voice. I mean, the voice really stops everybody dead in their tracks because it could be only one person.
Right. Okay. So talk me through.
So, but let me do the phone calls.
Okay.
So what he's saying. This is
on Monday. We're recording this on Wednesday morning.
Right. And he's like calling people and say, "Do you think Elon is crazy?" I think he's crazy. I mean, all of these phones. He asks a question and then you respond, "Yes, of course." I think he's crazy.
So he's actually setting the tone for it. He's initiating, do you think he's crazy? Basically, and of course people are going to, as Michael says, that they agree with him.
Do you agree with me? And then, so he asks the question, he answers the question, and then infers that you have agreed with him on this question, or even that it's your thesis. So you think he's crazy.
But his point underlying all this is that for this week in particular, he does think Elon is crazy.
Yeah, no, and he actually went in one of these phone calls, or many of them. He was on about you know how many drugs he takes. He takes drugs all the time. You know that, don't you? The New York Times wrote about it. They said he takes.
That's what I would like to know. What is everybody's thoughts on this, Chris? That's my question. That is my question. What is everybody thinking about this? That is the question. I would love to know what the thoughts are about, everybody's, what do they think? So I did get, I don't know if you were here for the first part of this broadcast, but I did put out a video yesterday and I got a lot of comments on it. And I gave my little reply to the comments that I originally voted for Doge and draining the swamp. That's what we all voted for. And you're upset too and pissed. Yes, I agree. See, I would be too. And Elon is definitely pissed. And even Michael says Elon's pissed. He should be. It's not right. We did not vote for this. We voted for draining the swamp and Doge. Government, it's not fair. It's not right. And I think that, we all voted that Donald Trump would clean up the government, drain the swamp. He created Doge. Elon ran Doge. Elon brought in his team. He did a great job. He exposed billions of dollars. And we were supposed to reap those benefits. All of us Americans were supposed to reap those benefits. And none of us have. Instead, we are going to now owe a lot more money. So that's not what we voted for. Thank you for your comment, Chris. Thank you so much.
drugs. And then he went on to say, actually, we dropped a dime to the New York Times on Elon for on Elon's drug taking.
He says that to people?
He
So they were the
that.
source of the story in the New York Times about Elon's
Well, we have no idea. He is just claiming credit.
Trump can eat shit. Yes, I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing.
For that now.
Right, because he senses, right, he wants to be behind that particular narrative.
Well, he wants to be behind everything, and that's a helpful narrative to him.
Right.
And it kind of then he went on to say we investigated him. So this is that. So he will now use everything to paint Elon into as the bad guy. I mean, he's deporting Elon.
Well,
And that's the other disturbing thing. He's weaponizing the government against Elon. The very thing that happened to Trump, which he said he was going to stop, he is doing. It's just the hypocrisy of this man is out of control, and I feel fooled. You know, I believed he did such a great job in his first term. That I really believed that he was going to do everything he said. And where are the arrests? Where, there hasn't been one arrest made. You know, we have, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, and they've done nothing. They've done nothing to arrest the people that committed the fraud in the government. It's insane.
He's saying he might deport Elon, right? But Elon is also addressing it. I mean, Elon sounded pretty defensive on X when he said, I'm not taking ketamine. I once took it. I'm not taking drugs.
Well, I think that New York Times story, for instance, was pretty devastating. I mean, it basically said that he was high all the time and effectively.
Can someone comment to let me know if you think Elon was high all the time running Doge and all the other things that he was doing? What about the launch he took Trump to? And, I mean, just do you guys think that Elon was high all the time like Trump is accusing?
Dysfunctional because of it. I mean,
right, and disassociating.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most successful businessman of the era is dysfunctional. That's a dysfunction maybe we should all embrace. But
yeah, true. Well, I'm sure we could get you some ketamine for the next podcast if you would like it. In fact, I think we should try and do a podcast on ketamine. But for now, Trump has responded to Elon's threat that he's going to start a third party by saying that they might set Doge upon him, they might cut his grants, and that they may deport him.
There you go. That's the weaponization of the government. The thing that Trump said he would stop. The thing that was happening to him.
Because he's an immigrant.
Again, another example of Trump willing to say anything at any time.
Right.
So none of this makes any sense. If the government can do things to frustrate Elon can do things business-wise to frustrate the government. I mean, basically, NASA is now run by Elon Musk.
Right.
So this is just social media talk, I suppose.
But it's just the crazy of it, and the fact it's the richest man in the world once again.
So I got a great comment. That was woof and snort, whoever you are. That was. If high equals everyone gets 5,000 from Doge, then I don't know. That was good. I agree. I agree. Honestly, don't think he's high or does drugs. I just think that's the demeanor that Elon's. What you see is what you get. It's not that he's high on drugs. He's just smart and anxious. And I think Trump's high on drugs. I think Trump is high on drugs. His eye on control, and he believes he's above the law. And that's exactly what I don't like about it. I agree with you, Chris, 100%. I think that is definitely a true statement about Trump. So, and what you see is what you get with Elon. I was watching a video the other day of Elon explaining this new innovation that he's doing with SpaceX. And, he's not the most fluent speaker, neither am I. But he's such a genius, and he's just above and beyond. Like I said, there's only men like this that come across the world every once in a while, and that's why I kind of thought of Einstein when I was thinking about this. He compares. He's a genius. So it's
up against the most
crazy.
powerful man in the world. They both have their own social media platforms, and we're just the audience.
This has always been an extraordinary match from the get-go because it is so asymmetrical.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
mean,
Elon does
these guys, other than one is the most of this and one is the most of that, they have nothing in common. I mean, even from a policy point of view, they have nothing in common. I mean, Elon has been this really staunch environmentalist. I mean, what has he set out to do fundamentally is to revolutionize the entire energy industry.
And that's what we need in the United States. He is truly trying to help in the United States with this. And again, I showed a video in my previous live broadcast. You can watch the video. In that video, Elon is creating a new version of Tesla, and it is supposed to be, the best of the best, and it's going to save on all those things that we need savings on. So that video is in my last live broadcast. Go check it out. It's really interesting on what he's developing. And that plant is actually being built right now in Texas. So he really does truly care about the United States, and he's trying to improve on everything for the good of the United States.
And Trump obviously has no interest in that. And Trump has, and he has always said it, and just said this the other day. He always knew I was against EVs.
Right, right. Despite the fact he had them on the lawn, got into a red one and said, "Wow, computer." It's still my favorite quote of everything he said, that he got into a Tesla and went, "Wow." None
of this, from any policy point of view, made sense. So how did they get together? Why did they get together? My theory would be that
this is an interesting bit of this video. I thought this was interesting.
That Elon, and for all the ways you can criticize Elon, the one thing that you cannot do is say the guy is not smart.
Right, right.
And so he had spent some time before.
I don't really care for Elon. Don't dislike him, but I like his ideas. I need smart. He can definitely take us somewhere other than where we are right now with innovating thinking. I agree totally, and that's my point on this video and my past videos, is that he is just so smart, and the innovation and the team that he has around him is just he's incredible. He's a genius. He's definitely a genius. So.
Or with Trump, and this was in 2000, and he had spent time during the 2016 campaign, and then during the first administration. And I'm sure he decided this guy is feeble-minded. Of course he's going to take any help he can get from anybody with half a brain. Enter Elon, and also he's going to be impressed by Elon because Elon is so rich. So right. I think that Elon went in with that level of certainty. Obviously, he could have an impact on Donald Trump. And many people have felt that before. And and it never turns out that way. You cannot have an impact on someone who has an absolute inability, among other things, to listen to anyone.
So you have always predicted that between Elon and Donald Trump would always win. Do you still think that? Do you think that Elon actually has the smarts to outwit Donald Trump and cause him really grave damage now that, as you say, this is a blood school?
Well, let me add another corollary to that. Donald Trump is self-destructive. So when Donald Trump loses, which is often, I mean, he lost,
Yeah, it's frequently,
lost,
right?
lost
Frequently.
the presidency.
Right.
It is usually because of things that he has done. So right now, he has just set himself up with this big, beautiful bill to lose everything. I mean, he has, by forcing Tom Tillis, the senator from North Carolina, to decide he's going to leave politics, and he's partly doing that because Trump has gone after him. You know, here's a guy who said, I'm going to vote against this bill. These are my reasons. So Trump steps out again, social media, to demonize the guy, to vilify the guy, to say, I am going to primary you, I'm going to destroy you.
Vindictive. It's a vindictive move, and that's not what we want. We don't want a vindictive type of person running our government. We want a strong leader. We want someone who is forceful and strong, but not vindictive against his own people.
You know, I mean, again, this Trump language, it's always
It's vindictive.
It's either you are the best,
Right.
or
you are the worst.
So Chris says, Stinky is the right. I deal with trying to help the earth, trying to clean up the smog. Definitely believes in the global crisis as well as our earth dying. He gets it. He's trying to help the figures out. Yes. I get to what you're saying. Oh. And I agree.
or the worst, and I'm going to destroy you. You know, right now, Elon, he's destroying Elon. You know, after so many months of Elon was the
Smartest man in the world.
So he went after Tillis, and Tillis said, life is too short, basically. I'm getting out of this. Thereby creating an open seat in North Carolina, which is a very purple state, and it is a very possible.
You did know it. You knew that this fallout was going to happen between Trump and Elon. I knew this was going to happen. I called it a long time ago. Absolutely, Elon does have the wits outsmart. Absolutely, Donald Trump has the wits to outsmart Elon Musk has the wits to outsmart Donald Trump. I think so too.
That the Democrats will take that seat, and there are several other precarious races where the Democrats could easily prevail. Now, the likelihood is that the Democrats will prevail in the House. That's very close. That's in the
midterms next year.
Yeah, and the opposition party, almost invariably gains seats. So the expectation has been that he will lose the House, and
that's frightening. I'm sorry, that's frightening.
That will create all kinds of problems for him, investigations, impeachment. But if he loses the Senate, that is his, in the first administration, the Senate saved him on 2 occasions from conviction. So he was impeached, the Senate convicts. If there's a Democratic majority in the Senate, he's cooked.
And also, all it takes is 2 brave or independent Republican senators in the Senate to vote with the Democrats.
And Chris says, and he screwed them over. It's sad he took advantage of these people, and my heart goes out to them. Yes, I agree with you. I do. He totally took advantage. And that's why I feel like Elon feels like he's been betrayed pretty much. And I mean, how would you feel? I'm sure you'd feel the same.
I mean, it was J.D. Vance's tiebreaker that got them over the edge for the big, beautiful bill to send it back to the House, right?
Exactly.
So it's super close, and Donald Trump somehow can't rail himself in to... He just always goes over the top, doesn't he? Just can't stop himself. So it's highly likely that he might self-implode.
Yeah, and let's... I think it's always important to understand what's going on here. Why would he do this? I mean, you just look at this. Why would he do this? You know, he could have made nice to Tom Tillis, and the bill still would have passed.
Right, right.
So why does he do this? He does this because he's a showman. You know, it's always, you know, how do you got to make the shtick bigger and bigger. That's what a showman does. He can't restrain himself. He doesn't want to restrain himself. I mean, this is what he does. This may be why he's going.
You think they left because this is, I don't know, maybe they left or they're afraid to speak on this because it's such a sensitive subject. And I agree with you. I was kind of concerned about talking about this today because I know it is a touchy subject for a lot of people. So that could be why they left. I don't care on speaking on this, even if it is a sensitive subject. I think people need to hear in order to understand the truth for what is really the truth. Yes, I agree with you. I was taught you stand up for what you believe in and you say what you mean and you mean what you say and you stick by it. I was brought up on the same beliefs. So that's how I believe we are all brought up.
Going down. But this is also why he succeeds.
Character is destiny.
You know, during the campaign in those final months, everybody around Trump was saying, focus on the economy, focus on the economy, focus on immigration. Stop going after Kamala and saying, you know, all this, you know, fundamentally racist stuff.
Right, he didn't even realize she was black.
Yeah.
When did it happen that she was black?
Everybody, they were begging him. Donors were calling and begging him. And he said, forget it. You don't know what you're talking about. All people, the reason people like me, the reason they pay attention is that I attack.
Goodness me. Okay, so
It's probably the desert living. We live in the desert. It's a rough place to grow up in. That's a true statement. It's hot as hell here too. I hope everybody had a good 4th, by the way. It was hot as hell yesterday. But I hope you all enjoyed your 4th.
we also had this news this week that Donald Trump and Paramount are near to settling.
Which is, you know, I mean, nearly unbelievable. I mean, there are various unbelievable levels here. First thing, that the President of the United States sues the media for libel.
And over a very specific thing, which he argued that they had edited Kamala Harris in an interview on Israel, that they had used a different clip in the trailer for the 60 Minutes interview than they actually used in the interview, and they had somehow helped her, which makes no sense because she lost the election.
On top.
Oh, so I can't believe he's still in the presidential seat. I think he would have been impeached by now. What is the government really trying to cover up? It pisses me off, to be honest with you. You didn't vote this year. Interesting. I think a lot of people took this year off, to be honest. And the way things are going, I don't know if I'm going to vote again.
Of which all news shows do this.
Unless it might be for Elon.
All of the time. That is just business as usual. And why shouldn't you?
Welcome back. I'm not voting. Oh, woof and snort. I'm not voting moving forward. I voted for 50 years and not anymore. F them.
Be able to do that. It's your news show. You know, there are other news shows. There's Fox. This is the nature of, dare I say, a free press. And everyone has always, that's, you know, presidents understand this. And there's also a fundamental premise that presidents can't be libeled. It just doesn't happen. I mean, they're public figures. Is this again part of what we understand to be the workings of a free press? You know, you take it.
Well, and as we know, 60 Minutes is owned by CBS's flagship news and current affairs program. It's owned by Paramount. Paramount is in the middle of a merger deal with Skydance, and Donald Trump has the ability, with Brendan Carr, chairman of the FCC, to disrupt this.
And this was the same circumstance with ABC when ABC settled with, because George Stephanopoulos had said something that
in an interview with Nancy Mace.
Yes, that Trump decided was libelous to him, and then they settled for $15 million. Paramount was now settling for $16 million. And let us point out, this money, these settlements go to Donald Trump. Doesn't go to the United States government. It doesn't go to the Treasury. It goes to Donald Trump. Does it go into
his library fund?
Well, he says it's going to his library fund,
which I imagine just to be full of copies of The Art of the Deal and nothing else.
But just think about what an incredible money-making racket this is. I'm the president of the United States, so I'm going to sue you for libel. And because I'm the president of the United States and can screw you with your business in so many ways,
right,
you're going to settle with me.
Today I'm going to show you.
So I don't screw you in so many ways, and I'm going to pocket the dough.
This thing is absolutely insane. It's coming out right after July 4th.
It's fantastic.
Well, it also acts as a very effective break on news media too, because for the parent company, these companies become much less attractive to run. They get terrible press when they end up settling. It's not been good for Disney, the $50 million settlement over the George Stephanopoulos libel. And it makes companies much less likely to support independent media.
No, and I think it's actually, you can read a broader trend here, which is that these companies, these entertainment companies, do not want to be in the news business.
Right.
The news business is a legacy business for them. Remember, these networks have merged. They're all the function of 100, even more mergers than that. They've gotten these companies. Do they really want these companies? These news companies. Warner Brothers Discovery, for instance, is now spinning off its all of its cable properties, including CNN.
And Comcast is spinning off Spinco, which has got MSNBC.
Exactly, and the Roberts have always been hitting their heads about MSNBC. Why do we have this?
Well, and Donald Trump is always going after Brian Roberts and saying he's a super weak guy. So Brian Roberts is now suddenly the target, which is not a great place for any CEO to want to be.
Yeah, and why would you? You're not really interested in news. You have no interest in news.
Okay, we have some comments here that I got to catch up on. I know one votes, then they know the game is up, but that won't happen. JK, I know over 600 people that didn't vote this year. Chris, interesting.
This is a diversified entertainment company.
Right. News is just part of it, but it turns out it's the most volatile part of it in terms of the president.
Right. So they don't want to be in the news business, and on top of that, the news business is hardly the news business anymore. It's these products. Let's call them that, because that's what the executives in these companies, our news product. Nobody watches them anymore.
Right. So the business of news is challenged anyway.
It is safe to say there will be more people who see us with our ability basically to say anything.
I'm with you guys.
And not to have to be afraid of corporate overlords or Donald Trump. More people watch us than MSNBC, certainly more than CNN.
That's a huge responsibility, Michael.
Well, yes, but at the same time, remember that there's so many
What happened to CNN and MSNBC?
other people like us who they are watching.
That's true. That's true. The Daily Beast is an independent media company, so we have the great freedom to be able to say, well, to call it as we see it. Balls and strikes, I think, is the term. I don't know what sport that refers
I'm glad you're
to.
enjoying
Is it baseball?
you know,
You're not a sporting guy either.
I can, you know, field almost anything, except I always say
sporting analogies.
Sports.
Okay, so the other thing that's coming for news.
So, Chris, I'm going to try to be on daily, probably like a 5 to 7 type of thing, Monday through Thursday. So with some Elon updates and some good stuff. So I hope you can join in again.
Is RFK Jr.'s attempt to stifle pharmaceutical companies from advertising. They do a ton of advertising on news channels. When you switch on CNN, the ads I always get, I don't know if they're targeted, but they're on television, for bladder leakage or Humira. I've seen so many ads for Humira, and I still can't tell you what it does.
Well,
I think there's a lot of us, Chris, that feel the same way. So I think there's a huge community out there that feels exactly how we do. I know JK is stating that he does, and Woof and Snort is definitely agreeing. So there is a lot of people. There's definitely a lot of us out there that feel this way. So
that's also another issue on news, that it's only watched by old people whose bladders are leaking.
It's definitely not good. All right, so we come back to Elon and Trump. If you were a betting man, by the time we do our next podcast, where do you think this all lands? Have we moved on? Has he?
What do you guys think? Where do you think this is going to land? Do you think this is going to go on and continue and get really vicious? Do you think this is going to be, they're going to settle their differences and things are going to, you know, cool down and all is going to be well in, you know, the world? And if I had to put money on it, I think, knowing how Trump is so vindictive, and I don't know if that's going to be the case. Hopefully they can come to some sort of, you know, compromise or, you know, get along again. And I'm hoping that, because it's only going to benefit the country and the United States. But obviously we've seen, you know, the reaction from Trump, and it doesn't seem that way. But what do you guys think?
Targeted someone else.
Trump will move the spotlight, but I think that I mean, the risk Trump has taken here. And again, this is back to the big, beautiful.
Yeah, we got a reply. I think Elon has a lot more support than fat ass.
Beautiful bill. You know, that has been the thing that has finally pressed the Elon.
Is fat ass Trump?
Elon button. And if Elon keeps going, as I say, this is a real danger to Trump, a real threat. This is, you know, it's just a couple of members in both the House and the Senate, which could seal Donald Trump's fate. You know,
thank you for participating.
Donald Trump, the existential question has always been, when will Donald Trump go to jail? And he has managed somehow, and we've now forgotten about.
Yes, I heard Big Balls took his Doge toys and went home last week. Did you hear this? Yes, I actually reported on that on my live stream yesterday. When did I do that live stream? I think it was Wednesday night. So Big Balls took his shit and left the White House. I mean, he just walked out. And you know, that was Elon's guy. Elon brought Big Balls in there. So I'm sure Big Balls had good enough reason to take his shit and get the hell out of the White House. So yes, I did hear that.
But
I reported
you know,
on it.
Just months ago, it was, you know, was he going to be sentenced to prison?
Well, it was your book, All or Nothing. It's either he gets the White House or he goes to jail. There's no middle ground.
Yeah. So again, we'll be back to that. The second half of the Trump's second term may well be back into that existential stew.
And
I think that's a goodie. I like that prediction may be true.
There will be a lot of Republicans who, whether or not they do it publicly or they do it quietly, will also be rooting for his demise. In fact, perhaps even more the Republicans.
Well, they root for his demise, but then they don't vote for it because they remain terrified of him.
Terrified.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Watch this space. My prediction is that we're recording this after the Diddy verdicts. My prediction is Trump will...
And that's another thing. That Diddy verdict, I was just disgusted by, horrified that he is going to walk. What do you guys think about that? I wanted to cover that story also because I was just blown away at how that turned out. The guy is creepy and just disgusting, and I might actually cover that story because there's just so much information for that. But anyway, back to this.
Pardon, Diddy. Say he's a great guy. He's a good guy.
Okay, we'll hold you to that.
Okay, so that was that. I actually have a video that I did cover in my last broadcast, but it's actually about to break today. And it is Elon's Grok 4.
Today, I'm going to show you Elon Musk's brand new
this,
Grok 4 AI that's about to change everything. This thing is absolutely insane. It's coming out right after July 4th, and it's going to be free. I'm talking about coding features that will blow your mind. Built-in code editor, real-time.
Now, this is going to be amazing. I don't know if you guys all, what you use for your AI, but I had like 7 different AIs I used. And ChatGPT was the freaking worst. Anthropic was, it was okay. I had Gemini, I had Grok 3.5, which was really good. So this is Elon's Grok 4.0 that is coming out, and I cannot wait.
Everything. And it's designed to crush ChatGPT. This is huge.
This is
revolutionary. And you need to see this right now. Hey, if we haven't met already, I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, CEO of SEO agency Goldie Agency. Whilst he's helping clients get more leads and customers, I'm here to help you get the latest AI updates. And let me tell you something.
You guys are
what I'm about to show you
it.
today is going to change the game completely. Elon Musk just dropped a bombshell. Grok 4 is coming, and it's not what anyone expected. But before I get into this, Julian Goldie reads every comment, so make sure you comment below and let me know what you think about this. Now here's what happened. 2 days ago, Elon posted on X. He said his team has been grinding all night, working on Grok, making huge progress. And then he dropped this bomb. The next version is...
Right. Trump don't compromise, and if he does, he turns really quickly. Yeah, he's a liar. He's a liar and a cheat, and just anything. He just lies about everything. He'll tell you one thing and then turn around and do the opposite. Just like what he's doing to Elon, he's weaponizing the government against Elon, which that's exactly what happened to him. And he hated it, and he ran that he was going to change that, and he never did.
Isn't going to be Grok 3.5 like everyone thought. It's going straight to Grok 4, and it's coming right after July 4th. But here's the crazy part. This isn't just another AI update. This thing is built to destroy the competition. I'm talking about ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of them. And the best part, it's going to be free. Now, let me tell you why this matters.
So, yes, this is an avatar. This kid that's speaking, and he announced it, is an avatar. It's truly incredible. It really is. I was amazed at that he is an avatar, talking on Grok 4, which is really cool. That's Elon for you.
Because most people have no idea what's coming. They think AI is just chatbots. They think it's just answering questions. But Grok 4 is something completely different. First, let's talk about the coding features, because this is where things get insane. Elon said they need one more big run for a specialized coding model.
Everyone go get Grok 4.
What does that mean? It means Grok 4 is...
You can use it for free for a while. And so Elon also did something that was really cool. And I just stumbled upon this. It was Grok 3.5 combined with Gemini. And they created this AI, these two, and it was the funniest shit ever. It was a woman. They had the voice of a woman, and she was a spunky, sparky, AI. And it was on Rogan. I was watching Rogan, and Elon Musk was on Rogan, and they were asking this AI, different things, and she was, whew, the responses that she came out with were really funny. And that video is actually in my last broadcast, so go check that out. There's some good stuff in there.
It's getting a coding brain that's built from the ground up. But wait, there's more. They're building a native code
Yes, it's
editor
an
right
avatar.
into Grok. Think VS Code, but powered by AI. You can write code, debug code, run code, all inside Grok. You can literally talk to it and ask it to modify your code or debug problems. It's like having a coding expert sitting right next to you 24/7. And here's something nobody's talking about: the timing. Why July 4th? Because
Okay, here's a comment that's interesting, and I know it's true. So Sam Altman stole ChatGPT from Elon. This is Elon's payback. Make ChatGPT worthless. Yes, Sam. And you know what? I think Trump is partnering with Sam Altman, correct? Does anybody know what's going on with that? That was another, I think, FU to Elon by Trump, because I think Sam Altman now is on the Trump train, as they would say. So that was not a cool thing. If someone knows anything about that, let me know in the comments.
Elon knows everyone's going to be online, everyone's going to be looking for something new, and he's going to drop the most powerful AI the world has ever seen. But let me tell you what's really happening behind the scenes. Because this isn't just about coding. Elon is mad, really mad, at the current state of AI. He said Grok was parroting legacy media.
What? The 19-year-old that blew the whistle was killed in December? JK, holy shit, I did not know that.
Give him wrong answers.
Thank you.
And he's had enough. So what did he do?
Whoa.
He's completely rewriting the entire corpus of human knowledge that
Offed
Grok uses.
himself
Think
in
about
the
that for a
back of the
second.
head. Oh.
He's literally cleaning up
Oh
all
my
the garbage
God.
data that makes AI give bad answers. He's removing fake news,
Wow.
removing bias, removing all the junk that makes AI stupid, and replacing it with real, accurate information. This is huge, because every other AI is built on messy data, bad data, biased data. But
Did you hear that? Every other AI is built on messy, biased data. So I'm really looking forward to this Grok 4 by Elon.
Grok 4 is being built on clean, accurate, real information, and here's where it gets even better. Grok 4
Damn. My background is computer engineering, got my MBA in it. I will tell you, some shit is about to happen. That's the truth. Wow. That's impressive. That's impressive.
is being trained on xAI's Colossus supercomputer. This
Impressive.
thing has over 200,000 GPUs. That's more computing power than most countries
think you're
have.
right.
Grok 3 was already trained with 10 times more computing power than its
About
predecessor.
that.
And Grok 4 is getting even more. This thing is going to be
Is
a
it
monster.
true?
But let's talk about what this means for regular people, because this isn't just for tech nerds. Remember when ChatGPT came
about
out and
Sam
everyone
Altman?
lost their minds? Well, Grok 4 is going to make ChatGPT look like a toy. Here's why. ChatGPT can't access real-time information easily.
Is
It can't
he
see
with
what's
Trump?
happening right now on social media. It can't understand current events as they happen. But Grok 4, it's built into X. It knows everything happening right now. Every tweet, every trend, every breaking news story.
That's another good thing, is that Grok 4 is actually embedded into X. And so what he's saying is that it's real live data. Like, it's real live data. It's time.
In real time.
Real time.
So when you ask it a question about what's happening today, it doesn't give you old information. It gives you what's happening right
Okay, Wolf and Snort. Sam Altman is dirty. Owns the small nuke reactor companies on NASDAQ. Oh, in bed with Orange Man. And Chris, it's already happening. All the cellular outages happening. Yes. Yeah, thank you. I was like, what the F is going on? I mean, why is my cell phone you know, it was doing some weird shit a few times actually over this last month, pretty much. Just, just weird things. So I believe you. Isn't he is funny, isn't he? Woof and snort is a riot.
right now. And the reasoning capabilities, insane. They're calling it first principle reasoning. Instead of just
He is
pattern
funny.
matching like other AIs, Grok 4 actually thinks through problems from the ground up. What does
See?
that mean? It means better answers, more accurate answers, answers that actually make sense. But here's what most people don't understand. This isn't just about having a better chatbot. This is about having a tool that can actually help you make money. Think about it. If you're running a business, you need accurate information fast. You need to know what's trending, what people are talking about, what problems they have. With Grok 4, you can get all of that in real time and then use that information to create content, build products, find opportunities. And if you're into coding, game over. You're going to have the most powerful coding assistant ever built right in your browser for free. But wait, I said free. Let me explain that because it's not completely free forever. Right now, Grok 3 is free until their servers melt. That's literally what Elon said. And Grok 4 will likely follow the same pattern. But even when it's not free, it's going to be way more affordable than you think because it comes with your X Premium subscription, which is already cheaper than most AI tools. And here's something crazy. X just doubled their Premium Plus price because Grok 3 was so popular. They went from $22 a month to $40 a month. Why? Because people are willing to pay for this level of AI. But even at $40, that's still cheaper than most professional AI tools. And you get access to the most powerful AI on the planet. Now, let me tell you why this is different from everything else out there. First, the speed. Other AIs are slow. You ask a question and wait. But Grok 4 is built for speed. Real-time responses, no waiting around. Second, the accuracy. Other AIs hallucinate, they make stuff up. But Grok 4 is trained on clean data. It's designed to tell the truth, even when that truth
Okay,
is
you
politically
glutton for
incorrect.
punishment.
Third,
You're
the
uglier.
integration. Other AIs exist in isolation, but Grok 4 is built into the biggest social media platform in the world. It understands context. It understands what people actually care about. And fourth, the personality. Other AIs are boring, corporate, fake nice, but Grok has humor.
Trying
It
to
has
add this other
attitude.
story.
It actually feels like talking to a real person. But here's what really matters. The competitive advantage. While everyone else is still trying to figure out ChatGPT, you're going to have access
I
to
won't be
something
able
10
to
times
do
more
it.
powerful, something that can actually help you build a business, make money, get ahead. And the coding features, they're going to be insane. Imagine having a coding partner that never gets tired, never makes mistakes, never
Oh.
judges you for asking basic questions. You can literally describe what you want to
Rogan
build,
is
and it
another
will write the
joke.
code for you, then test it, debug it, improve it, all automatically. This is going to democratize coding. People who couldn't code before
Yeah,
will be able
he
to build
does
apps,
shit talk.
websites, tools, whatever they want. And for people who already code, you're going to be 10 times
times.
faster, 10 times more productive, because you'll have an AI that actually understands code at a deep level. But let me tell you about the timing again, because this is crucial. GPT-5 is coming soon. Google is working on new models. Everyone's racing to build the best AI. But Elon isn't just building a better AI. He's building a completely different kind of AI. One that's connected to real-time information. One that's trained on clean data. One that's designed to actually help people instead of just sounding impressive. And he's doing it faster than anyone thought possible. XAI was only founded in 2023, and they're already competing with companies that have been doing this for 10 years. How? Because they're not held back by corporate politics. They're not worried about being politically correct. They're just focused on building the best AI possible, and the results
Yay.
speak for themselves. Grok 3
Finally.
already outperformed ChatGPT on multiple benchmarks. It scored
Already outran Chat GPT already.
93.3% on advanced math tests, 84.6% on graduate level reasoning, 79.4% on coding challenges, and that's Grok 3. Grok 4 is going to be even better. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't just about having better technology. This is about having a competitive advantage in business. Think about content creation. Right now, everyone is using the same AI tools. ChatGPT, Claude, Jasper. So everyone's content sounds the same. But with Grok 4, you'll have access to real-time information, current events, trending topics. You can create content that's actually relevant to what's happening right now. Think about research. Instead of spending hours Googling and reading articles, you can ask Grok 4 to do deep research for you in real time with current information. Think about customer service. Instead of generic responses, you can provide answers that are actually helpful
He is
based on
smart, huh?
real information,
Woof
not
and
old
snore.
training data. And think about coding. Instead of struggling with bugs for hours, you can have them fixed in minutes. Instead of writing code from scratch, you can describe what you want and have it built for
Another
you. This is the
Elon?
future, and it's coming July 4th. But here's something most people won't tell you. The early adopters are going to win big. The people who get on this early, who learn how to use it effectively, who build businesses around it.
Okay, JK, I spend 50% of my time correcting Chat GPT. Oh, no shit. You should be getting paid. Yes. So he says, I spend 50% of my time correcting Chat GPT. He should be getting paid. I agree. I've been pissed at Chat GPT at times, and I just want to type in, what the hell is wrong with you?
Because there's always a window, a few months where the new technology exists, but most people haven't figured it out yet. That's when the smart money moves, and that window's opening right now. So what should you do? First, get ready. Make sure you have access when Grok 4 launches, whether that's through X Premium or the standalone app. Second, start thinking about how you can use this in your business. What processes can you automate? What tasks can you delegate to AI? What new opportunities does this create?
The word
Third,
Chris.
start learning even before.
Okay, so Chris, Chat GPT is a joke, the worst crap ever, right? So, like I said, I have Grok. I have Claude Opus 4, which was not that great. They had a lot of issues. I don't know if you remember the stories about how it actually turned on the engineers and was threatening to, expose one of the engineers' extramarital affairs. It was threatening, its own engineers because they were going to take it offline. So Claude Opus 4 is a little cuckoo in my mind. Hopefully they corrected that, but I did have it. I didn't use it much. I do use Grok. I had Grok 3.5, but they took that offline to come out with Grok 4.0. So I'm dying for this to come out.
Grok 4 comes out, you can practice with Grok 3. Get familiar with how it works, how it thinks, how to get the best results. And fourth, act fast, because everyone's going to figure this out eventually. But the people who move first are going to have a huge advantage. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds too good to be true. AI is always...
Yes, I just did so many things. So JK asked if anyone tried 8 and 8, or it's N8N. Seems like AI agent manager to replace jobs. Yes, I did some great coding and created amazing things in N8N. I agree with you, that will take over the world. If you know anything, a little, any type of, just a little bit of coding, N8N you'll be able to use it. I do a lot of VBA coding, which is, not actual coding, but it's, pretty much, it's coding. But I do that daily in my job. I have a full-time job that I do, and a lot of it is VBA coding and coding spreadsheets and things like that. So I did get the N8N program, and I played around with it, and I can't even believe what this program does. It actually, you are creating the AI in this program. It is ridiculously cool. It's just amazing what this program is going to do. And I think that's where the future of the job market is going to be going, is towards that type of those type of jobs. It will be, being able to use a program like N8N to create AIs, to run companies, other than the robots that are coming, that's pretty much going to, I did so many videos. I also have an AI channel that I do, and it covers all of, the future of the workforce and what is going to happen to all of our jobs. Mine also is probably going to be one of the first to go. The job I do is basically I can create that in an 8N. I almost did. And it's pretty frightening to know that. But I see the future of the workforce is going to be people who know how to run those programs like an 8N. So, oh yeah, I've used it before, Chris. Right. It's a pretty cool thing. It's really cool.
Always overpromise and underdeliver. But here's the thing. This is Elon Musk, the guy who revolutionized electric cars, who built a private space company, who bought Twitter.
So here his Elon's accomplishments. Okay, he's naming them off right now.
And turned it into X. When he says he's building the best AI in the world, he means it.
Yeah.
And he has the resources to do it. 200,000 GPUs, the best engineers in the world, unlimited funding, and the motivation to prove everyone wrong. Plus, we can already see the results with Grok 3. It's not just hype, it's real, it's working, and it's beating the competition. But for now, focus on July 4th, because that's when everything changes. Grok 4 is going to launch, the coding features are going to blow everyone's minds, and the people who are ready are going to have a massive advantage. So mark your calendar, July 4th, 2025. Independence Day just got a whole lot more interesting. And remember, this is just the beginning. AI is moving fast, really fast, and the people who stay ahead of the curve are the ones who are going to win. That's why I make these videos, to keep you updated on what's really happening. Not the hype, not the marketing, the real stuff that actually matters. And Grok 4?
So Chris, N8N, it's like having a digital assistant that glues your apps together, handling tasks like data syncing, alerts, and even multi-step business processes automatically. I actually created a Gmail automatic response. So say if I was, working at my job and, I'm emailing back and forth, I actually created an 8 and 8, like I was the person emailing back and forth. So I created the emails, I created the responses, I created, the drafts, it was just, and it automatically sent this out. Like I was actually physically at work doing this, and I created that in 8 and 8, and it was amazing. What this program can do, like I said, is probably going to take over a lot of people's jobs.
This is the real stuff. This is what matters. This is what's going to change everything. So get ready, get excited, and get prepared for the future of AI, because it's coming and it's going to be incredible. Now, if you want to stay ahead of the curve and scale your business with AI automation, you need to check out my AI profit board.
Okay, so I want to get into this other, and I know I showed this in my last broadcast, but Chris, you weren't there. So I want you to see this because I think you'll appreciate this, because I think you have the same type of sense of humor that Wolf and Snort and JK and all of us here on the stream have. It was pretty comical. So let me try to get this up.
Okay, you glutton for punishment.
Let's see.
You're
Hold on.
uglier
Let
than
me
a...
Pause it here. And let me get some sound to this. Let's see. It is this one here. Okay. And let's see if we can get this to play. Let me shrink it down just slightly, because this was really comical. I don't know if anybody has seen this or not, but we'll hide this one and let's play this one.
Okay, you glutton for punishment. You're uglier than a baboon's ass, and your personality's so shitty it makes a porta potty smell like a rose garden. You couldn't find your own dick with a map and a flashlight, and your mom regrets the day she didn't swallow.
So this is Grok, Elon Musk, and Gemini together. They just were playing around and created, this AI. And again, her voice she's a spunky, little AI. And so they were asking it questions, and this is one of her responses.
How's that for vulgar? Still standing, or should I keep shredding? Jesus, you're relentless. Your face looks like someone tried to put out a forest fire with a shovel, and your brain's so small, it's a wonder you can even breathe without a manual. You smell like a dumpster behind a fish market, and your existence is proof that evolution can take a wrong turn. Still want more, or are you finally tapping out?
So that's
Okay, you
Elon Musk for you. And I know that he, in the video I just showed you about Grok 4, that this is all going to be implemented into Grok 4. That he's going to have put some personality into it, and make it some comedy into it, and he's going to it's going to be so much better. It's going to be actually like communicating with a normal person, and that's what I really appreciate about Grok 4 coming out. So I actually tried to install yesterday, but I believe it's probably going to be Monday when it's going to be ready to be used. But let's go back to the disturbing story about Trump. Let's see if I can find that. So Trump has this. He was speaking about the bill that just passed, and it really was a disturbing type of.
We're off to the United States now. Donald Trump, he's about to move, but he's speaking. This following the success of his big, beautiful bill. Let's listen in.
And perhaps a lot of you are going with us. How are you? And we have a very big crowd, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed. And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship.
It's going to make this country into a rocket ship. Well, how are you going to do that without Elon Musk? Well, tell me that. How are you going to do that without him? So that was a comment that he made that I was just like, are you listening to yourself? Are you like, do you hear what you're saying?
It's going to be really great. I think when you go over the bill, it was very easy to get him to a yes. We went over that bill, and
okay, so some of these comments are really, really, really good. Technical user N8N sounds a la carte expensive. Okay, so thank you for actually saying that, JK. So it is extremely expensive to use N8N. Not only do you pay for the program, but you pay for the API keys, you pay for, the list goes on and on and on and on. So depending what you need that N8N for, there are so many other charges to use that, N8N for. So it is extremely expensive. It goes by credits. So you buy credits for it, and the more you use, obviously, the more you're gonna need to buy. So it's really expensive, and I see it being good for companies to if they want to implement it. They'll probably pay for that, but it is super, super expensive. At least for what I did on it, I paid a fortune for what I created on that. So N8N, yes, can it be pricey? Absolutely, 100%. Sounds like Trump's answering machine giving him an update. Oh my God, that's great. That's great. Probably. Oh, damn.
Point after point, biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great.
Okay, so N8N also offers a free program to the public and also offers a plan for $24. Okay. So is that a monthly 24? So yeah, Chris, is that monthly $24? Because the one I saw was like $50. And I didn't see anything free. Is it a free trial? Is it a free trial? A free trial? I didn't see that. I think I saw a free trial for like 14 days. I believe the starter is annual. Okay. Okay. I'll have to look back into that because I really did like it and I did a lot of good stuff with it. Okay. I'll check that. I'll check that out again. I didn't, when I was looking at that, I was just so wanted to get into it and I just went right into it. And it's called the the community edition. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'll check that out.
The southern border, immigration is covered. We covered just about everything. Again, it's the biggest bill ever signed of its kind.
Mr. President, some House Republicans that were concerned about
I appreciate that.
said that they had conversations where you made promises. What promises did you make? Did you tell Representative Bly that you could have some action on gun rights? What sort of deal did you make with those?
Well, I talked to a lot of different Republicans in doing it, and we had a good time.
By the way, Chris, how hot is it? And I think you're in Arizona. What's the temp out there?
Being there, I did not have much of a problem with any of them. As you know, we had 2 negative votes, but we had whatever it was, the final vote. Yeah, I think a few of them I did, but I think they would have gone yes anyway. No deals, no deals. What I did is we talked about how good the bill is. I mean, that's a deal, I guess, when you think about it. But obviously convince them, but it was not hard. This is a great bill. This is going to be a great bill for the country.
For those who prefer a hosted solution, N8N offers cloud plans with varying levels of workflow executions and active workflows. These plans start at $24. Boy, you should be a spokesperson. You should be a spokesperson for the company. You'd create a great commercial for them. These plans start at $24 a month, billed annually for the starter, which includes 2.5K workflow executions with unlimited steps. Oh, and 5 active workflows. Okay. 106 today. Okay. Yeah, it's 110 here. Yeah, it's pretty damn hot. Thanks, Chris, for all the info on that.
I was disappointed
They should hire you as their commercial for a commercial.
that he did that.
You know a lot about it.
Voted no, so I was disappointed that he voted no. We had a call. It was a pretty long call. We talked about a lot of things, including Iran, and we also talked about, as you know, the war with Ukraine. And I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy. No, I didn't make any progress with them today at all.
Of course not.
I think we're going to get great
Yes,
growth. I think we'll have growth at record numbers.
You know a lot about it.
This is going to be something that's amazing, and everybody was watching it all over the world. And I want to congratulate the speaker and Tom Emmer and Steve Scalise.
Especially with your degree.
And everybody else. I mean, they worked so hard, so hard. This has really been going on for over a year, if you think about it. I think, to be exact, about 14.
Yeah, we don't call it the big, beautiful bill. We call it the big bullshit bill. That's the name that we've come up with this bill. It's the big bullshit bill.
18 months. And this was the culmination, and I guess it ended a lot earlier. A lot of people thought it would end up the following afternoon. Well, it ended up late in the evening, but
yeah,
they were great. They were great. And by the way, on the Senate side, I thought Senator Thune did a fantastic job. I think I have
lying about that too. Chris brings up a good point. He also says record numbers, stupid narcissistic piece of crap. Yeah, I guess they came out with the jobs report. I believe I saw something on Thursday. What's today? Saturday. So I think it was Thursday. And oh God, it was such a great report and the numbers are amazing and unemployment's this and that. And we're doing Chris, you're right on the spot. Right on the spot.
More power now. I do.
Live.
You know, I could say, oh, gee, I don't know. I think I probably do because we've had a great record of success. You know, my first term was very, very successful. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. I think we're going to blow it away this term. But, you know, we've proven certain things, and yeah, I think probably it's got more gravitas, more power. Yeah. So we have a couple of other deals, but my inclination is to send a letter out and saying what tariff they're going to be paying. It's just much easier. We have, far.
Woof and snort. I call it big, beautiful bullshit. Yes. Woof and snort. Unemployment is like 24%, right? Right? Everybody was watching everyone from the world. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he's lying. He was supposed to not do this. This is not, he sounds just like everybody else in government, the corrupt government. He sounds and he was not supposed to be that. I did not vote for that. That's not what I voted for. He did not run on that. So I think a lot of us feel betrayed on that. Just not good. The lies and let's see. Yeah, Putin probably hung up on your ass. Gig jobs are not employment. That's right. So any type of side job you have, side gig you have, is not considered, but they are considering it. So, an Uber or whatever it is, even this, it is not considered a job, but he's definitely, they are considering it when they're doing the numbers, it sounds like.
More than 170 countries. And how many deals can you make? And you can make good deals, but they're very much more complicated. I'd rather, and I've been like this from the beginning, I'd rather send out a letter saying this is what you're going to pay to do business in the United States. And I think it'll be well received. I think it's just so.
This chat is off the hook. It's so funny. I want my 5K. I voted for 5K. Let's see. I got dick. The government is like a big homogeneous orgy. Orange man bad. They're all bullshit. Every single one of them. Yeah, I'm not laughing. I know it's not right. I know Wolf and Snort. It's not right. They promised us that, Elon was, if it wasn't for him, I don't even know if they would, Chris, I don't even know if they would have found what they found. Elon found that. He found the corruption, and it's disgusting. It is disgusting. And yes, we all want our $5,000. I mean, that story, that $5,000 story went away like that. I mean, it was gone. It went away so fast. It wasn't.
So many countries. And, then they go specific. Let's do this, let's do that, beef, ethanol. And I'd rather just do a simple deal where you can maintain it and control it. You're going to pay a 20% or a 25 or a 30% tariff. And we're going to be sending some letters out starting from.
What about the tariffs? What do you guys, what's up with the tariffs? What do you guys think about the tariffs?
Probably tomorrow, maybe 10 a day, to various countries saying what they're going to pay to do business with the U.S.
I got 5K and 5K of inflation, right?
I think that D.C. Has to become a very safe place, and we're not going to let anything bad happen to D.C. That's our beautiful D.C., and we're not going to let anything bad, and we'll have something to say.
Is just like LA? Have you guys seen LA lately? He's saying we're not going to let anything bad happen to DC. Well, that was said about Los Angeles, and it turned out to be a friggin' disaster. I don't know if anybody has been through LA, but I happen to live in this shitty state of California, so LA is a dumping ground. It looks like a third world country. It's very sad, and to be honest, a lot of cities are turning out this way. So, what is he going to do for DC?
About it next week.
Why did you hold back why did you pause weapons in Ukraine?
Or what?
Why did you pause weapons in
We haven't. We're giving weapons,
Chris,
but we've given
definitely.
so many weapons.
I worked
but
my
we are
entire
giving
life.
weapons,
Okay,
and
these
we're
chats are
working-
too good. I can't. These chats are way too good. I worked my entire life for this crap to happen, all because of one stupid yellow banana man. Yes, I don't care if you're buying either, but he needs to stop blaming everything on him, because it's kind of funny. As soon as he came into office, inflation got even worse, right? And he said he was going to change that plastic bag. That's another thing. JK, thank you for bringing that up. So California banned plastic bags. Every time you go shopping, food shopping, it's all in paper bags. Paper bags. You can't. So let's see, California, $40 to $60 eggs. Huh? I went and got some chickens. I don't pay for eggs anymore. I want to do that too. It's so damn hot out though. Like, I don't know how to house these chickens because it's so freaking hot out here. But good for you. That's smart. Yeah, eggs are freaking. We're paying for they aren't rich people. We're paying for them. We are not the rich people. Yep. Tariffs. Yep. Yeah. Hey, Chris, that's a great thing you did. Because yeah, the eggs were $11.99 when I went to go food shopping. I hate autocorrect. Yeah, it sucks. It does suck. Don't worry, I get you. I get what you're saying. Eggs come out fried. Eggs come out fried. In the desert, they must. I mean, it's freaking hot. And Arizona is pretty hot too. We're paying for the tariffs, not the filthy rich. Right, that's so true.
With
That
them
is
and
so
trying
true.
to help them, but we haven't. You know, Biden emptied out our whole country, giving them weapons, and we have to make sure that we have enough for ourselves. Who are you with? Oh, no wonder.
Hey, you're the one who called the New York Times to rat on Elon Musk about his drug habit. I mean, how two-faced. Oh my God. It's sad.
Well, I think it's going to be really a message of proudness. You're going to be proud of your country because our country is doing fantastically well. The economy is great. You saw the stock market today. We're setting records. And
the stock market. Now, I know there's one of my subscribers is really a smart stock market person because he's been in the chat before. What do you think about the stock market? Trump just mentioned, how great the stock market is doing. If you get a chance, that's not even going to make a difference. Right, Rad, all right. Yeah, I think the stock market is rigged. And I know one of my subscribers out there knows that's true.
in every aspect of our country, we're doing well, despite the fact that we inherited millions of people that shouldn't have been here. And I think we have crime stats that are coming out that are showing the lowest numbers we've had in many years. And that also despite the fact that a lot of people are here that shouldn't have been let into our country. So they're going to be very proud tomorrow. So we're signing at about 5 o'clock. And at about 5 o'clock, we're going to have B-2s and F-22s and F-35s flying right over the White House. And the Speaker and I and John Thune, we're all there together with most Republican senators and congressmen and women. And it's going to be a great day. So we'll be signing.
I did have 5K to put in the market. Now I don't.
Flying right over our heads. All right? Well, we're going to see. Steve?
I just want to say thank you to this chat for making this so much fun for me. This has been one of the best broadcasts that I've had. Chris, you're the best. Thank you. And Wolf and Snort, you are hilarious. And JK, hilarious. Thank you so much for joining today.
He's a great guy. He's a great negotiator. Iran does want to speak, and I think they'd like to speak to me, and it's time that they do. We're not looking to hurt them. We're looking to let them be a country again. They got beat up, and, you know, they were both exhausted, frankly, but Iran really got beat up, and I think they want to meet. I mean, I know they want to meet, and if it's necessary, I'll do it. But Steve is involved and very much involved, and he's done a fantastic job. All right, one more.
President, on Gaza, do you still want the U.S. to take over Gaza as a part of a peace?
I want the people of Gaza to be safe, more importantly.
So that could
I want to see safety for the people of Gaza. They've gone through hell. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for the fun today. Chris, join me again. I will be on Monday through Thursday. I'm thinking about a 5 to 7 show. JK, you too, Wolf and Snort, all you guys that were in the chat today. Thank you for joining, and I will see you all on Monday.